New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
Woo! What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from the Nick of Time show. Here, give you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And guess what? The Knicks win another game, beating the Chicago Bulls at home, 104-109. Gunshots for these New York Knicks. RJ Barrett gives you 28.6 rebounds and 3 assists. Alec Burks is turning into Michael Jordan and gives you 27 points, 3 assists, and 6 rebounds, hitting step backs and all sorts of shots. Mitchell Robinson, the man who doesn't have much of an offensive game, but has enough to drop 16 points and 12 rebounds on your head. And my man, Obi Toppin, gives you 17 points and 2 rebounds. The bench outscores the Chicago bench 28-11. We only have 1 turnover in the second half of the game, and Randall gives you 27 minutes on the game. And I only mention that stat, Brian, because is that a season low? 27 minutes? I'm not even sure, but I feel like it's a season low 27 minutes, and I'm hitting the gunshots on that stat alone. The Knicks beat the Chicago Bulls 109-94, and we're going to talk about it. And this is the type of wins I like. You know why? The youth them playing, man. Obi Toppin played. Emmanuel quickly didn't score a lot, but he had an important place. He had important minutes. And RJ Barrett did his thing and gave you 28 points. And we're going to talk about it. Salute to the New York Knicks, who won 4 in a row and weirdly are playing their best basketball of the season, man. But before I even break down the details of the game, I'm gonna just introduce you to my guy. It's the man, the myth, the legend, the guy with the stats and the facts.
Ryan G's in the building, and before we get into the game, all I gotta say is I know Barrett is the badman on the team, but it seems like Burks has taken over the badman title for now in the last couple of games.
Badman Burks?
Badman Burks the last couple of games.
Yo, Barrett, you gotta have to wrestle that name from Burks, because Burks was cooking today. Yeah, it's the new dynamic duo. 1-2 punch today was Burks and Barrett. The BB squad came and played in effect. But it's like, man, this was a great game. But before I even get to the game too, please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to comment after the game. After the show is over, it's going to help the algorithm and help KOT rise to the top of the YouTube streets, all right? So let's get to it, man. All right, I'm gonna just hand it off to you. I'm super excited today, Ryan, but I'm going to hand it off to you. And, just let me know, Ryan, your thoughts on the game and the things that you saw.
Well, I'll say this. I'll start off by saying this. So, Randall's game tonight definitely doesn't help his relationship with the Knicks fans.
Oh no.
But I'm not going to use this show to get on Randall, because right now the fire around Randall is pretty hot right now.
Oh yeah.
And I don't want to add fuel to that fire, so I'm gonna leave Randall alone. He had a terrible game. Just leave it at that. But overall, I think the Knicks played pretty well today. Clearly, IQ, he didn't have a great scoring game, but he still ran the point guard position pretty well, and he found Burks for that wide open 3, which pretty much sealed the game for the Knicks.
Let's go, IQ.
Exactly. Burks been balling lately. I mean, last game against the Pistons, got the game-winning steal against Cade Cunningham, and now tonight hits the game-winning 3, 5 of 10 from 3. So Burks had a good game as well. And it was also refreshing to see that the Knicks are now moving the ball more, not just with the usual second unit, or like Raw likes to call them mob deep, but also the first unit is moving the ball around more now. So it's like, it's like what? So it's like, what is this, like the 75th game of the season, something like that? And it's now that the first unit wants to move the ball around. Like, what happened earlier in the season? Where was this ball movement? So, that's another question that remains to be answered. But overall, it was a pretty good win for the Knicks, and all I'm hoping is that, seeing that the Knicks are winning right now and it looks like they're going to end the season on a high note, whether they make the play-in or not, I would like the basketball gods to bless the Knicks with a number 1 pick, seeing that we're playing the right way, to end the
Uh,
season. I mean, come on now.
I'm not even holding my breath. And I said this on Twitter. At this point, I'm just like, I'd rather just package the pick with a vet and get an upgrade somewhere somehow on this Knicks team with a vet or two or three, and get an upgrade somewhere somehow at another position. But all good points. I do like the ball movement. The ball movement point is a pretty poignant one. The Knicks moved the ball around pretty good. They got off to a little bit of a slow start, but I feel like Evan Fournier, for one, he's finding his groove with passing the ball, even though the defense was still kind of trash in the beginning. And in general, it just seems like the time when Randall was sitting down, something clicked in their brain, and it was like, wait, we moved the ball now. And now Randall is back, and he's still ISOing a little bit, but I feel like he's trying to let them move the ball a little bit more. Or maybe they're just not passing the ball as much. I don't know. But it seems like there is a synergy happening with the ball movement. But more importantly for me, what I'm noticing in games like this is, one, the youth and the trust that Tom Thibodeau is giving to the youth so far. Not so much McBride, because McBride only got like 7 minutes of the game, and you thought he would get more minutes without Grimes there, but I digress. But Obi Toppin today, playing extended minutes, played 20 minutes while Randall was in the building for the first time of the year. To me, was a big deal. It was a big deal. And he delivered, because I was told, Ryan, mid-season that Obi Toppin couldn't shoot. That's what they told me. They told me Obi Toppin couldn't shoot. They told me Obi Toppin was a bust and he was a lost cause. This man came in the game and shot 3 for 6 from the 3-point line. All right? Sniper out there. Not only that, I'm sorry, I'm getting on Randall. Randall's defense today, especially the entire first quarter, was treated ash.
Bruh.
Super trash. To the point where I was having flashbacks of Tibbs talking about, oh, if they give you nine bad plays in a row and one bad, they should be taken out of the game. Randall had repeated bad play after bad defensive play after bad defensive play. There was points in the game where he literally wasn't rotating at all. He was just literally standing straight up and down, Ryan. Literally standing straight up and down, not rotating. And I think that's why at some point in the game, to me, it sounded like the crowd was booing Randall, to me. Yeah. As simultaneously they were cheering to get Obi Toppin in the game. You want to say something?
Yeah, most definitely. And you know, because sometimes I think when people listen to us get on Randall or whatever the case may be, they think that, you know, we're being too hard on Randall or whatever the case may be. Those who, you know, the few Knicks fans that do defend Randall, but there was something that I saw in tonight's game where I'm like, you see, the hate Randall gets from fans is warranted, because there was a play in the game, and I was like, because I don't know if you remember this play. I think it was the first half, I believe. I think it was the first half. Remember the play where Fournier, he was driving to the basket, and he could have went up for the layup, but instead he decided to pass it out for the three. And I think it was Caruso, I think, stole the ball, because he threw it right straight to Caruso. Caruso stole the ball, ignited the fast break, and I think he got fouled at the other side. As soon as Fournier made that mistake, Thibs threw Fournier out the game. Right. And I'm like, I see Randall do a couple of dumb plays, and I'm like, so why isn't Thibs having that same type of energy with Randall like he had with Fournier, where Fournier is a veteran. Fournier's been in the league for years. Fournier made a stupid play.
Yep.
And Thibs took him out ASAP.
Yep.
But then there was a play I could point to in the third quarter, I believe, where Randall, I think, was getting double teamed or something like that, and then like Sims was coming behind him, and he throws like a bad behind the pass.
Yep.
Yeah, he throws a bad behind the back pass to Sims, and I'm like, how do you expect Sims to even get that ball? But yet Randall remains in the game, and I'm just like, there's too many incidents of this, and I'm like, this is why Randall gets so much fire, because people watch games and they see this. He doesn't get the same treatment like other players on the team. Even with veterans, it's clear as day.
It's super clear as day.
Yeah, and also another thing about Obi Toppin too, just to talk about more happy things. Obi definitely showed that he's worked in his game, because he's showing that he's more than a dunker now. There was a couple plays in the post where he posted up somebody.
ISO Zach LaVine, barbecue chicken. Yup.
Exactly. He took LaVine in the post and did post moves and
Footwork.
Scored the basket. And then he's shooting threes now. And this game he didn't hit any, but I saw a game or two where he hit mid-range jumpers as well. So it's like, if he's putting all this together now, I mean, come on now. Like, I think the people who show Obi hate, they need to get off his back. This man is more than just a guy that can just dunk the ball. He's showing that he's more than that, and he deserves more playing time.
Yeah, he just needs time.
Yeah, but Thibs, you won this game, but I don't know what's wrong with you, though. In the fourth quarter, because the game was tight. Obi's playing well. And, Randall's taking up the joint.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you put Randall back in the game with like 3 minutes to go? Why?
We won
this. Answer that question, please.
We won despite, man. We won despite. But you're absolutely right. There was hating on my guy Obi. Oh, I've said it from the beginning. All Obi needs is time. All Obi needs is time. And if he's not looking over his shoulder, he's going to produce. And that little bit of time he got when Randall was out for those 3 games got him in rhythm and got him more comfortable within the flow of the game. So, like, I'm loving this game for Obi Toppin, and I'm loving this game for the front office, because it's going to make – I feel like it's going to make some decisions a lot easier moving to the future, when to pass the torch over. Because it's absolutely coming. It's absolutely time to start to pass some of these torches over. Because, like, you're starting to see it more often than not that when Obi's in the game, he's going to shoot a high percentage from the field. Like, that's a staple. 54% from the field from Obi. 50% from 3. He's going to do that. And he's going to give you, the hustle on defense. He might make some mistakes, but he's going to give you the effort level is going to be at a higher clip. Now, he needs to give you rebounds. He's going to give you 2 rebounds on the night. And you need to shore that up from Obi. But everything else is off the charts for Obi. And as soon as he gets more time, it's the sky's the limit for him, man. He's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine. And speaking of the youth, Emmanuel Quickley, right? This is not Emmanuel Quickley. You know what? I'm gonna say Emmanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett, because Ryan, we have had problems scoring in the fourth quarter for I don't know how long. And it seems like this coach at game, 69, 70, whatever, 2.
It's in the 70s.
72. It seems like this coach at game 72 has figured something out. Give the ball to the playmakers in the fourth quarter and don't ISO Randall in the post. It took a long time, Ryan. It took 72 games. But the reason why we started to get more flow in the fourth quarter was because we handed the ball to our playmakers. And what did you see today? You saw RJ Barrett going to the hole. You saw RJ Barrett drawing fouls and making free throws, most of them anyway. We saw IQ making the brilliant pass to Alec Burks in the corner. We're seeing ball movement in the fourth quarter and less ISO. And again, it's funny because this coach seems to learn by injury and not by experimentation, because we got that way because when Randall was out for these last few games, we went to other people to figure out how to get things done, and now it's starting to bear fruit. So this is a great game for the front office to see a few things. One, Quickley is getting experience making winning plays in the fourth quarter. 2, so is RJ Barrett. 3, Obi Toppin can also be trusted with more minutes. So I'm loving this win, man. This win is a nice move in the right direction.
Yeah, most definitely. And the way the Knicks have been playing, especially in that fourth quarter, like that always should have been the move for the Knicks because yeah, you have players that can ISO, whatever the case may be, but these players are not. It's not like you have like for example, the Bulls have Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
Those two players, you don't mind putting them in isolation situations because those two players are high caliber players where you put them in ISO situations, they're going to get buckets. This season, especially with how Julius Randle's been playing this season, ISO ball should have never been the move for the Knicks, especially late game situations. The Knicks should have always stuck with ball movement and then just try to get the best shot that they can through the ball moving around. So it took Thibs a while to get to this point, but that should have been a move with the Knicks all along.
Yeah, absolutely. Someone said Randall played well. Now, you know what? So this is one of those weird games where plus minus don't tell the story because Randall was a plus 10 tonight, and I feel like he was plus 10 despite. You know what I mean? Because I feel like he was crap in the first quarter, and then the Knicks went on a run in the third quarter because everybody else was balling, and he just happened to be on the floor. But I didn't see him really contribute to playing defense, or I just felt like he was running up and down the floor to me. I mean, he got rebounds, but that's about it to me. And I'm one who gives Randall credit when credit is due, when most people don't. So I'm not just saying this to pick on him, but I feel like this is one of those situations where it just feels like he was on the floor as things was happening because Alec Burks just had it going that well. That's just me. But it is what it is. I want to talk about Mitchell Robinson a little bit later too because he had a big game. But we got 5 callers up and we're gonna get to it. So let's get it. Shout out to the chat first of all. Shout out to Civil Analytics Vibe Shop, Civilized. Like my guy, like Fresh in the building who was there at the Chicago game, repping with the KOT show. Snap back on. Shout out to you. Shout out to Nick Yak. Shout out to Chris Alexander, the best mind in the game, and everybody else is rocking with the KOT show. First caller up. Let us know what your name is and where you from.
What's up? This is Jason from the Lower East Side.
Yo, what's going on, Jason?
Aye.
What's up? This is I was real happy they won today because I really wanted to beat the Bulls. Because Bulls fans been talking a lot of trash, and it's just like I don't know if you look at the standings now, they might fall into the play-in. So I'm just really glad we messed them up.
Facts.
And today, I mean, all I could think about, I'm not going to kill Tibbs today, but all I could think about is why couldn't he have this kind of minutes, give Obi these kind of minutes earlier in the season? Where would this team be, guys, if he played Obi 20 minutes a night? Remember how good Obi was earlier in the year?
Yeah, I remember.
Like, how many games did we lose close that we could, if it might have been, if those 4 minutes, 5-minute difference might have made the difference?
Absolutely.
And a few games here or there, who knows where this season would be.
Absolutely. Like this is the type of game where this is the first time where I saw Randall playing bad and the coach took him out. And he still took him out kind of late. But Randall's played this bad earlier in the season and he still trotted him out there for the entire third quarter plus more and gave him 30 points a game no matter what. This is the first time where I actually see him be under 30 minutes because he wasn't playing as well. And it's kind of crazy. This is the first time it's happened.
Yeah, you know what would have happened earlier in the year? So remember, I think it was like 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter or 11 minutes left. Obi, he jumped and fouled DeRozan.
Yeah.
Tibbs would have pulled him. That would have been it. He would have pulled him. And with 11 minutes left in the quarter, Tibbs would have pulled him right then.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. And this is the first time, too.
And then I was thinking.
Oh, so go ahead.
No, sorry. Now, I was going to say, because a lot of people were talking about trading Randall, and I just want to say this. They can't just trade him for nothing. They have to get value back, because if they trade him for nothing, and then he has a great season next year, like an all-star level, Leon Rose will be fired before the season ends.
Absolutely.
So they have to get value back. And I think the the one trade that, like, if they go into the offseason and say we got to get rid of Randall for no matter what, I mean, obviously we got to get a good deal. I think the one trade that would make sense would be a Brogdon trade. I think the Pacers would actually do that.
I like Brogdon. I like Brogdon as a player. For me, it's only injury worries, but Brogdon is the type of player that I would love on this team. And Brogdon is a Tibbs player too. Like, Tibbs is not going to have a problem having him on the team. It's just a matter of him being injured or not. You know what I'm saying? But that might be something. That'll be their freaking Sabonis replacement, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, we are a lot of us were saying Randall and Turner made sense. That's why a lot of fans early in the year wanted Turner.
Yeah.
And then so that's just like I don't even really like that trade. I don't think Brogdon. I think we need to get more than Brogdon. But if they say we got to get rid of Randall no matter what, I think that might be the trade. What I'll say is this: it's about and this is my last point about Quickly. I think it's official. He's a point guard.
Listen,
the question now is he a backup point guard or is he a starting point guard? That's all. That's the only question.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah. Like, I hate how, man, I was getting into with somebody on Twitter today, and it was just like, yo, he just keeps minimizing everything he quickly does, and I just don't get. He just does not want to give him credit no matter what he does. It is frustrating. But I don't know how many times I saw Quickly to this game read the defense and whip that pass to the corner before doubles come or when doubles come. Like, he's been doing that more consistently over the last couple of weeks. I'm seeing this guy's play making it better game to game, and it's crazy. And it's funny because he'll go through periods when he's still kind of jack shots a little bit too fast. But at the same time, his point guard IQ is way higher than it was last season or even earlier this season. So you got to give him credit, man. Have to.
I'll say this though. I'm not gonna call IQ a point guard straight out. To me, he's still a combo guard, but he can definitely play the point guard position in spurts. Like, I still believe he's a combo guard. I still believe IQ is best when he plays next to a point guard, or he plays next to a point guard, or he plays next to a guard that has point guard skills.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, IQ is capable of running a team at point guard. I don't know if he's a starting guard yet, but definitely that guy off the bench that you could put in the fourth quarter and get you buckets. Like, yeah, I think IQ's that type of player.
It's just apparent right now that we're just better on the floor when IQ is on the floor. Point blank, period. Like whether he's with we're just better. And then I think that's why he's closing games now, like almost every game at this point. But yo, salute to you, Jason. We got 7 callers up now, so let's get to these. Yeah, man. Man. This is a big win, man. When the kids play, people are hype. Next caller up. Let us know what your name is and where you're from.
Hey guys, what's happening, guys? This is RJ from Jersey.
What's going on, RJ?
Hey, man, what's good?
All right, we're good. Good win, man. I think that's 4 in a row now. And you guys brought it up. Obi looks so much better lately, and I think a lot has to do with Quickly as well, playing a better point guard lately. Him and Obi have that good chemistry.
Thanks.
But Obi is basically like and I don't mean to keep bashing Randall, but he's basically the anti-Randall. He's always cutting off the ball. He's always cutting off the ball in the half-court offense. I mean, he's running the open floor game in transition. It just seems like he's given this team a much better chance of playing, a more streamlined version of basketball when he's on the floor. And he's putting the ball. Breen brought it up too. If you were watching the game too, you could see he's doing much better lately, putting the ball on the floor and attacking.
Mm-hmm.
He's always been doing well with the handoff game, but he's actually attacking the rim a little bit too. And I'm hoping this 3-point shot can, be sustainable for him because he looks really good at the 3 line lately, and that'd be huge if we can get. He doesn't have to be like a pure stretch 4, but if he can step outside the line, 2 or 3 times a night and hit a couple of threes, that's huge for our spacing. Clears up the paint for guys like RJ
mm-hmm.
and even Mitch. And yeah, I just love the way he's playing. And one point real quick, and this last caller also brought it up, but maybe it's, I feel like this Knicks team could have at least been 500 if Tibbs was a little more flexible with the lineups all year long, man.
It's possible.
You know, it's like a lot of our losses are because we stick with the first unit, like you said, for the entire third quarter so often, and that hurts. And did you guys see at the end of the game with Randall? I don't know if you guys noticed.
Yeah,
Yes.
he walked off.
Yeah.
He walked off early. Yeah.
Knicks win and he has an attitude problem, and it's just like,
Bruh.
I don't know what's up with this.
Yeah.
Kid, man. Like, I know what's up with this kid, but it is what it is, man.
It's like your team just won. You should be happy. He throws the ball and he puts his head down and he goes straight to the tunnel. I mean, you guys are celebrating in the middle of the court. It's and I hate to make it so negative all the time, but it's like, dude, you've had so many instances this year already where, we're seeing these videos and clips of you at the end of the bench and you're slapping laptops away, you're getting into arguments with the media and the fan base. It's like, how many instances do we have to have? It's frustrating. But other than that, man, it was a good win. Again, love the way Obi's playing. And, that's it, guys. Have a good rest of the night.
Yeah,
Keep
man.
doing
How
your
you
thing.
too, man?
Have a good night.
All right, guys.
Yeah. I'm going to start with the Obi stuff. And he started off saying he hopes that Obi starts to hit three-point shots. And I'm buying the shot. I'm buying the shot on Obi. I've always bought the shot on Obi. I just figured I always just said he just needs more time because I've been saying it all year. He's a rhythm player. And he'll get going once he gets more comfortable. I'm getting playing time and running up and down the court a few times. If you've been on this program before, you heard me also say a million times that free throw shooting is an indicator that a 3-point shot can go down. And he's been pretty decent from the 3-point line, 75% from the free throw line this season. It's always looked crisp and clean. So you figure if he's hitting at that consistency, he'll be able to hit the 3-point shot. And I still believe if given the minutes, he will. He shot 40% from 3 in college. And I think he could do the same thing. He could do the same thing here. Now, I don't think he always had this higher volume, like a six shots a game type of situation where he's 3 or 6. But I still feel like he'll be a pretty good 3-point shooter on maybe lower volume. That's what I see for Obi.
Yeah, I think what people got to realize is that, some players are just shooters. Like, for example, Steph Curry, shooter.
Right.
Klay Thompson, shooter.
Right.
Desmond Bain, shooters. Like, those guys, they don't need, to get into the flow of the game to knock down shots. Those guys are just lethal from 3. But guys like Obi, they need to get into the flow of the game. They need to get a feel for the game. And then once, a couple baskets fall for them, or they hit a free throw through, then or they hit a free throw or two, then that's when, they start really, knocking down, wide open shots from distance. So that's the type of player Obi is. If you're going to play Obi 10 to 15 minutes and expect him to knock down a few threes, it's not really going to work that way because it takes a while for players to get into the rhythm of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, the shot's going to come, and the diet is just not going to be high 3-point shooting diet. It's going to be the reverse. It's going to be, inside out type of game, not outside in. All right. Next caller up, we got my man Big Reaper.
Hey, what's up, fellas? Thanks for taking my call. I know what's wrong with Randall.
You do?
So
do you?
Maybe this is all in my head, but so long stretches of his game, right? It looks like quickly and RJ is icing Randall out, especially in the fourth quarter. Late in that fourth quarter, there's one possession where I think Randall was basically on the same side where RJ had the ball, was dribbling down the court, and I think the coach wanted Randall to get the ball, and RJ wasn't trying to give him the ball. And so it kind of looked like, I thought it looked like he was looking at the sideline and just kind of waved his hands and then moved to the other side of the court. I don't know. I don't know if I'm just like looking too much into it or if I'm misunderstanding it. But anyone else, whoever's in the chat, let us know if you guys saw the same thing. And then the other thing was like, when Randall was on the court, the coach wanted to run the plays through Randall, especially like late fourth quarter. But essentially, it looks like RJ has broken him, and it looks like RJ broke the coach too, because it was him and IQ. They just did whatever they wanted to do. There's something going on there, and then also like the last few inbound plays with Burks, You remember when what's the name called it out? Like Walt Clyde was saying, like, why didn't he give the ball to RJ?
Yeah.
And he was trying to get the ball to Randall. Like throughout every time he was trying to get the ball, Burks was trying to pass from out of bounds, inbounds. He was trying to get it to Randall. So it was just weird. You know, it was like very odd that he kept doing that. Like the first time he passed over RJ, almost got like, you know, the violation, ended up calling a timeout. The second time, you know, it was on the side, and he basically forced to throw to Randall. But it seems like every time in the out of bounds lane, that's who he wanted to get the ball to.
Right.
And so that's just kind of what I saw there.
Interesting.
And yeah, but in terms of the team win, like, you know, it's so the team, the last 5 games we've played, 4 of those games we've shot worse than the team, and we still won. And it looks like it's the second chance points. And basically, obviously, we haven't been turning the ball over a lot.
Yep.
As much, and so
6 turnovers in a day.
The combination, yeah. So the combination of those two, it seems like, and then also we're defending the 3-point line better. You know, although we're not shooting well from the 3-point line, but we're defending it better, and so we're basically making more than the other team. But that's kind of like what I'm noticing with it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Did you guys notice it with the stuff? Did you guys feel like they were icing Randall out at any point in the game? I kind of felt.
I'm not sure they were icing him out because I didn't notice that he was calling for the ball. I was more looking at looking to see. I missed that part, but I will say he didn't touch the ball. And I mean, let's be honest, that's the type of shots we want. Like those shots are way better for us. There's a higher percentage shots. I mean, RJ has proven. I don't remember the analytics off the top of my head, but RJ is one of the best fourth quarter guys on our team. Period. So it makes sense for him to be doing that, to making plays, and him and IQ are the best playmakers on the team. Straight up.
I agree. Yep.
Yeah, and I just want to throw in. I'm sorry to cut you off, Big Reaper, but I just want to throw in that, and I'm sorry, like if I'm on the court as well, I'm not running my offense through a guy who's shooting 1 of 9 from the field all game. Like if my coach is telling me that I'm supposed to run the offense through him, I'm gonna probably try and do something else and try to get better shots too. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. All the vibes I'm getting from this game, I think officially going forward, this is RJ's team. I think today was the day. I know like they've been running the offenses through him, but it's just like the body language. He like basically, I don't know, to me, it felt like he just took over the team, wouldn't give Randall the ball, especially late in the fourth quarter. And him and IQ just kind of did what they had to do to make sure they got the win. And honestly, one of the reasons, I think I've said this before, one of the reasons I was, that used to annoy me about IQ was I felt like he was constantly deferring to Randall early in the year a lot.
Yep.
Instead of making the proper play.
Yep.
He would always someone could be open in the corner or whatever, but he would defer to Randall. But he's playing much better now. Now he's just like, it seems like he's just trying to play good basketball instead of the politics of the game and trying to figure out who to give the ball to and who to ignore. So that's why I think, I don't know, I just have a feeling this is, it's it for Randall. I think I'm, maybe I'm imagining it, but it feels like he's going to get moved this summer.
I'm hoping, man. I'm hoping, man. His attitude sucks. And like I said before, I'd rather end the game with IQ and RJ because they making way better decisions right now at this point of the game than Randall has ever had in the whole year. So I'm with that. We got to move on. Thanks for calling me. We got a bunch of callers tonight, but I appreciate you calling, Reaper.
All right, cool. Good night.
All right. Shout out to my guy, Reaper. I also want to mention something, too. Reaper kind of mentioned this earlier already, that there's been a pattern that the Knicks have been killing teams on the offensive glass for the last 3 or 4 games. And it's crazy because we stunk to start games 3 or 4 times in a row. And we've gotten offensive rebounds. And today, once again, Mitchell Robinson comes in the game, gives you 8 offensive rebounds on the night.
Yep, money making Mitch.
Yeah, money making Rich. 8 offensive rebounds on the night, 12 rebounds total, and 3 block shots from Mitchell Robinson, aka Pay That Man. So Mitch definitely did his thing today. Sims seemed like he struggled a little bit tonight. Sims, 13 points, 2 rebounds. I feel like he was out of position a few times on the defensive end.
Yeah.
tonight, and it caused a few problems, along with Randall, who just didn't try, and Alec Burks was getting cooked too in the beginning in the first quarter. But luckily for Alec Burks, Zach LaVine was guarding him. And Zach LaVine wasn't guarding nothing for like the first half of the game, and Burks was able to cook him. So shout out to Alec Burks, who got it together eventually. Did you want to add something, Robin? Ryan?
Robert, oh boy.
Yeah.
Nah, you pretty much said it right there. Yeah, Sims definitely struggled today. He did make a couple of, I think, wrong rotations on defense, but yeah, pretty much everything else you said is pretty much on point.
Yeah. All right, so next caller up, we got our guy Ken. Ken, let us know what you want to talk about, sir.
What's up?
What's going on, Ken?
Come on now, man. Every win is now like, the next best win of the year. This is awesome, man. Tonight, I swear, I thought we were going to lose it again at the end. You guys are on money, everything you're talking about. I was like, listen, with DeRozan and Levine and even Vucevic, I was like, man, we're not going to be able to stop these guys if the game's close, especially if all the missed free throws.
Yeah.
And I saw when they were blitzing DeRozan, I was like, oh, God, now freaking Levine's going to cook us. And if we rotate to Levine, then Vucevic is going to be wide open, and he's just going to, hit wide open shots. But anyway, we pulled the game out, and we won this, like we talked about, the right way. So, hey, really quick, Randall, I know we love bashing Randall, and so do I. Like I said, from the jump, I told you since last summer, I was against freaking giving this guy an extension because I didn't trust him.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it again. So the thing with Randall, and everybody's talking about, oh, why was he so upset at the game? He was upset because he missed those 2 free throws, and he he's still a choker, and that's why he's off it. Because listen, he's feeling the stress, and the reality is, let's all be honest. If you ask all, and I'm going to write an article about this. If you ask every Knicks fan, even at the end of last year, looking forward, who do you want to be the starting power forward for the Knicks? Everybody would tell you they'd want Zion Williamson. That's all you've been hearing about this whole damn season is Zion Williamson to the Knicks, or they want Obi Toppin because he's the local kid, and he's from Brooklyn, like I said, and he's a high flyer, and he's a good kid, and he's exciting. That's who everybody wants. And I don't think Randall knows that. Come on, man. So of course he but that doesn't excuse him. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't excuse the way he's been acting, but I think that's in his head. And the problem is that since he had that contract, and nobody wants to talk about it, man, but that contract, it gives him power. And the reality is, like, he had a bad game today, and I was happy Obi had a good game and the team won. But I was like, man, we need Randall to play a little better so we can move his ass this offseason. But anyway, really quick on the positives. On the positives, like I said, you guys touched on everything. You guys are playing, and even the callers, man. You guys are reading my mind. We got some really good callers.
Yeah, the
tonight.
callers were spot on today.
IQ playmaking has been huge. And I think you guys all touched upon it. I'll just repeat it really quick. But this kid is smart. He's not a true point guard, but he's improved his play making skills as a point guard. And you saw at the end of the game, he made some big plays. He hit Mitch for the dunk at the end of the game, cutting, and he hit Burks in the corner. Like so he's making smart. He's making smarter reads than freaking Burks and Randall. The problem is Randall and Burks, they take too long to process what's going on and make decisions.
Yeah.
And then we're playing faster and we're hustling. And you talk about it. It's not that we've been shooting well. We've been avoiding turnovers. We've been hustling, and then Mitch with the freaking offensive rebounds. We're beating teams, right? And then the other thing about the kids, and I think Reaper said it, and I think the caller before also mentioned it. I'm feeling the same vibe, where the same thing I'm seeing. It looks like, and I've been watching it the last couple of games since Randall came back. They're not deferring to Randall anymore. I think there is a schism on the team between the young guys and the vets, particularly Randall, and they're over him. And if you watched when Obi made a couple of big plays, and maybe it's just coincidence, but you saw that they're kind of commercial. They're showing Obi, and they've been promoting Obi, and even the broadcasters have been talking about Obi, and you can tell everyone's kind of down on Randall. And you saw RJ in the postgame show. He called out IQ. He called out Obi. and he didn't say nothing about Randall.
Randall played horrible.
He's like, this is my team. No, right, but but Randall had his 13 boards and stuff, but you can tell like the way he was talking, it's like it's his team, and his guys are IQ and Mitch, and he's done with Randall. So I think what the caller said before, I think that's right on. And just the last thing I want to say really quick is that with Randall being out and the injuries the last week or so, it's been a blessing because it's forced Tibbs and the front office. Because you guys like to blame Tibbs for all of this. I blame Tibbs, but I also blame Leon and Wes for what's going on with Randall and the vets. Because, like I said, they're Tibbs' boss. But anyway, the point is that these guys have earned some of the Tibbs' trust, the way they played, especially in Miami. Mm-hmm. And then you saw it tonight where Randall didn't come in early in the fourth quarter. He sat, up until like close to the 3-minute mark.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you said, and he played under 30 minutes. Now, Burke's playing 42. That's just insanity, but whatever, man. But anyway, the point is the young kids, right?
You can't have it all, I guess.
The young kids.
Yeah.
Right. You can't have it all. But the thing is, the young kids, like I mentioned before, these guys are built for New York. Like these kids, they're exactly like they're the blueprint of guys we need. They're mature. They're smart. They're tough. These kids are determined. Like even RJ, who is a top 3 pick. He's a grinder. Like he's not like Morant or Zion or some of the other guys who are these gifted athletes. Like everything he's gotten, he's earned through hard work. Mm-hmm. He's not coasting on his athletic ability. And then these other guys have all been through adversity. And like we talked about, like Obi. Listen, Obi used to be a point guard, but then he outgrew his the position.
Gotcha.
And that's what you can see. He's a good passer. And you talked about it. He's definitely a better shooter than Randall. And the last thing I'm going to say, which is ironic,
the last thing.
I'm building up to the last thing because I know we got callers. We've had some great callers.
Yeah, I'm about to tell you. I'm about to touch you off.
All
right, go ahead. Last thing.
No, but it just hit me today. I was like, isn't it ironic that the guys who represent the Tibbs way, who should be Tibbs guys, are the kids?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? Because of what I just said. Those are really Tibbs guys, but he has this built-in preference for the vets. But I was like, these kids are your type of players.
Yeah.
The tough-minded, the magic's in the work, all that stuff you talk about. That's those guys, and those are the guys you should be playing. All right, sorry, guys, for going a little longer than I planned. We got a lot of callers, but you guys have been great. The callers have been amazing. And the thing about Brogdon, I swear to God, I was thinking the exact same thing.
All
right. I'll let you guys go.
All right. All right. Thank you. Last thing.
Last thing. I got one more.
Shout out to my guy Ken. Man.
But it's funny though, because what Ken just mentioned, like I mentioned this like a couple episodes ago. I said the same thing because I was like, if Tibbs has like a vision of how he wants his team to play, it's the young guys on the team. Like, it's the way the young guys play together. Like, I think that's Tibbs' true vision of how he wants his team to play. But like Ken said, like, he feels like he has to owe it to the vets and give them, crazy minutes per game and not really play the young players like that. When in reality, I think the young players is how Tibbs really wants the team to play.
Yeah, and it's crazy how, man, playing with Randall so long is going to get you fired, Coach. You got to watch that because you're putting your trust in Randall, but he's not playing for you, and I think that's the problem. He's not playing the defense that you tout you should be playing, and that's a big problem. Now the whole RJ is pissed at Randall, and I'm not sure. It could be, I don't know what that is. That's all a theory. I'm not saying that's gospel. Maybe they froze him out this game because he wasn't playing well, and I might have did the same thing. I'm not gonna lie. But is there beef between RJ and Randall? I don't want to say that, really. I don't want to go that far. But I know for this game anyway, I'm not mad for RJ calling his own number. And I'm not mad at Quickly for making the plays. Because like I said, they're the playmakers. They're the best playmakers on his team right now. Especially with Derrick Rose being out. All right?
Yeah.
And it's no coincidence. Listen, 6 turnovers on a night. 6. one in the second half, and usually we have these fourth quarter collapses with ISO Randall. We didn't have any turnovers in the fourth quarter, and Randall wasn't touching the ball in the fourth quarter. I don't think any of that is a coincidence. All right.
Most definitely.
Yeah. All right. We still got 3 callers up, so let's get through these guys, man. Next caller up. Let us know what your name is and where you're from and what do you want to talk about. What's good, my guy, JT?
Good one. Salute the chat. Make sure everybody hit that like button, subscribe, share. You know, these guys are working hard. They're working hard.
All that,
I guess tonight is is Randall night. I'm gonna make this quick about Randall because man, it was a good win. We know, but he's always a topic of conversation because he's such a polarizing figure. You know, for the way he acts. So as far as the them icing him out, that's my point I made earlier in the season, and some of the Randall fans in the chat wasn't feeling it because I was like, yo, like, yes, you're paid like the number one guy, but you're not the number one guy. You're very on and off. So I think that the players finally said, man, screw this, we're not doing this, and that's what I think what it was. And as far as RJ not mentioning Randall at the post game, RJ ain't stupid. Randall be getting bodied by the crowd the whole night. He know, man, let me not do that because they're going to probably boo all the way to 14th Street Union Square if I say this man's name. So let me help him out and not even mention it. And it's a mess. It's like you always say, it's a mess out here because I don't see it ending well because no matter what, if Randall could take it on the chin and just go ahead, boom me, and let his game speak for itself and step his stuff up, step it up, then of course, we're gonna respect it because you're playing good and all that. But it's mental, man. I don't see that man coming back next season. I really don't. And it's not even a pick on Randall thing. It's just you could just see it. It's this. It got to him, and he liked what he's still chasing that high from last season, and it just ain't it. But enough of that. Great win. I'm glad Obi got 20 minutes, and Obi showed out in those 20 minutes. And it's you see, Tibbs, you could have did this so many games ago, and Randall only played 27 minutes. Obi played 20 minutes, and look what happened. We won.
You got that.
I'm glad we beat Chicago because no matter what, like I said, it's just those teams: Chicago, Boston, Atlanta, Indiana. Those are the teams I don't care. We got to take that W. We always got to take that W.
You forgot Miami.
You forgot Miami.
Miami.
Yeah.
Celtics got to beat the Suns.
You always got to. Always got to beat Miami. New Jersey too. New Jersey, that's not Brooklyn. That's New Jersey.
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 Yeah,
New Jersey.
Yeah,
Right.
but I feel what I'm saying. You got to get those W's against those teams. Quick, definitely shout out to Quick for the way he played. Quick is developing his point, as a point guard. Because at the end of the day, man, we got to realize these guys is only in their second year.
Yeah.
We keep wanting these guys to come out and show out, and it's let them develop, let them cook. So that's definitely Mitch. I don't know how we got to do it. I don't know how, but we got to find a way to pay that man. I know everybody keeps saying Sims or Mitch. I want them both on the team because when Sims develop into even a better player, and I just think it's something good. So I don't know. Maybe we can explore trade Randall all season to clear up the cap space or something. I don't know, but because we keep on looking dang, can we afford Mitch? Or we gonna do a sign and trade? Man, try to trade Randall's, man. Shoot,
listen,
that'd be 20. That'd be a high 20, 30 million right there off the books.
Yeah, you're right about
that. But right now it's
it's
curious. I'm curious to see what the rest of the season is going. With the last 6 games is going to be. If Randall's going to play, if Obi gonna still keep getting these minutes because you see it, man. The man especially he's just not there. He's just not there. But anyway. Keeping it quick. I know y'all got a lot of callers. Good win. Like I said, subscribe. I'm out. Yeah.
I got my guy JT. I still got my IMO Bamba. I'm not even gonna lie. I still got my IMO Bamba. I like Sims though, but I want a stretch 5 in my future. Especially listen, if you move, RJ is a guy who likes to go to the hole. So. Just give me one stretch 5 with block shots.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, there's a few of them in the draft, and if the Knicks get a high enough pick, there's a few of them in the draft.
Yeah,
but
you still hoping for those frozen envelopes, huh?
Hey, I mean, if the Knicks are gonna be the lottery, it's like, why not? Either the Knicks can draft high, or they can use that pick and get something really good back. So either or, it's gonna work in the Knicks' favor. So of course, I'm always gonna hope for that high pick. But yeah, like I think ideally, like I would love for the Knicks to keep Mitch and Sims and find some way to get rid of Noel's contract and just keep Tots like a third big as a backup. I would love that.
Yeah.
If they're able to do it.
I'm with it too. And whew. Yeah, I'm with it too. I'm definitely with it too. All right, it's cool. Let's go. Next caller up, we got our guy Edson from Long Island. Not to be confused with our Edson. Another Edson from Long Island.
Yo, good evening, gentlemen. So what did I tell you? Calling yesterday, it's about now. Now. Not woulda, coulda before. Maybe I said, no, we're thinking now. And Jay, were you complaining about that stale chicken nugget about last night? How about some Chicago fried chicken? A whole bucket full of it. Nice and juicy and tender. And I went out of my way in between the show right here to talk a smack on the Chicago
Let's
Chicago
go!
podcast.
Tokyo Smack, son! Tokyo Smack, man.
But I'm serious.
Yo, Obi did barbecue chicken Jack Levine in the fourth quarter. Obi did barbecue chicken Zach Levine when he put him in the blender in the post moves, man. So shout out to Obi Toppin.
Yeah, just this was for the base. This is for KOT, for everyone. Come on, guys. You know, who said winning does not make things better? It's people who sell themselves to playing NBA 2K, listening too much ESPN, all this stuff. It's like, come on, you know? And it's like, oh, we're not going to do well with a lot of. So what? This validates us getting fewer balls in the lottery. And the more we raise our stock, I mean, look, teams who will win higher on the draft boards. If we're going to trade up, they're going to look to say, you know what? I want some of your young guys. Well, guess what? You know, we're not going to dump everything onto them. We're not going to dump. We're going to be very smart with this, all right? So we have our options. You know, we can't just limit ourselves to just this narrow way of thinking. Come on, you know, we're better than that. You know, we're winning right now, you know, and we continue to do so. And we're making fools out of these top-seeded teams.
It's one, man, it makes you think, like, how good are we really now that the young guys are getting more minutes? It just makes you it's funny because I saw some stat today that said if the Knicks were in the West Coast, we'd be 9th in the West Coast right now, which is crazy. That the East is better than
it is crazy. And you know, they're going to have to plan for this, you know, because right now our kids are getting more minutes. You know, we're not doing the same old stale plays. We tried that. We tried that again one more time. You know, Tips got thirsty for juice, but meanwhile everyone's on energy drinks, right? And look what we got, right? The same old thing. The same old thing. And right. I don't think that we're being iced out. We're just going what works with the best, what was going on to win the game, you know? And I hate to say this because, you know, I don't hate to say this, like, but, you know, Julius, whatever minutes you got to make the most of it. If you're already getting one touch of the ball, you better make that shot. You have to. Because right now, you got to.
Yeah, listen, for me, it's not even about scoring for me with Julius, man. To me, it's all about effort and attitude at this point.
Yeah.
Like that, because that's what's pissing me off. Like I saw somebody say, well, Julius played defense because he had a block. And that was nice. It was cute they had a block. But what about the 9 plays before that when he didn't rotate on defense? And that's the stuff that really pisses me off. Or like when somebody said at the end of the game he throws the ball and doesn't celebrate with his teammates that they won. Like stuff like that is what makes you be like, man.
He's not being optimal with all the minutes that he's given to him. It's just going down and down and down and down. And don't give me that, like, you know, oh, for the sake of this, oh, he's got the contract or whatever you do. Doesn't rationalize that. If you're getting minutes and the few touches you're getting, you better perform. even it's small margin. And I've said this before, because he was the number 1. Now he's 2. Now he's 2.5. He's losing place in this team. So, and that's not going to. And I'm not going to even lie. I kind of want Julius to perform in the final games we have because we're going to try to move him. It's year 2 on this contract, which is going to be easier to move, but it'll be much better if we can actually, just restore some value behind that,
Yeah.
Or if we're stuck with it, but he has to make serious adjustments. I'm not going to call that, Julius is done or Tibbs is done. Until this entire season's over, when I see things are way to scale, I'm more inclined to work with Tibbs because, again, we just moved some of the vets, those contracts away, and he's starting to see. I don't care what his body language is, whatnot. You got inventory. You got these players you can trust.
Yep.
You can trust them. You know, and they put up with you all season long, man. Okay.
Got it.
You're able to trust them. And a quick thing about IQ. Okay, I noticed with IQ getting a lot better when Deuce has been around. And I think it's because, you're like a kid, the kid that's really good with math, and you're cool with each other. It's like, hey, can I copy your homework just a little? It's like, sure. I'm pretty sure that helps. It helps. I know he's more of a natural too, but it helps. It helps to do a little more. Okay, a little more counts goes along the way. Just finding your full self, reaching your full potential. And it's building towards what's yet to come. All right.
Gotcha.
And what's yet to come, that's what I'm going to close it. What's yet to come, all these top seeded teams have to plan for that. Miami, Spoelstra was caught off guard. I was listening to those post game. It was hilarious. It was just like,
right. Right.
Yep. You got to plan about that.
Yeah. Right. Gotta get to the next caller, man. Thanks for calling.
All right, man.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Thank you. And I think what the last caller just mentioned, I just want to touch on it right quick because with Randall's attitude and effort, right? Everybody it should be known by now by Knicks players if they pay attention to the fans. If you want the fans to love you, all you have to, because people think New York is so hard to play for, and really it's really simple with New York fans.
Really simple.
If you play with effort, and you play with you play with a good attitude, and you play with intensity, New York fans are gonna love you because that embodies the city. You play with effort, and you go in there and you go out there and give your 100 every game. Knicks fans are gonna love you, even if you're a player that's scoring 2 points a game, and getting 2 rebounds a game. If you go out there with straight effort, Knicks fans are gonna love you. That's why Knicks fans love the kids.
That's why they had that's why there was a Frank Hive.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why there was a Frank Hive. Frank averaged 4 points a game.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's always injured. And he had a whole hive because he played defense.
Exactly. That's why the fans love the kids so much, because when the kids play, that's what they do. They go on the court, they play with 100% effort. They get at it. Like that other game against the Heat, when the Knicks came back on them dudes that quickly made that big play, he was talking trash to the fans. That's what Knicks fans love.
Yo, listen.
That's what Knicks fans love.
Yo, there's a formula. Play with effort, make a basket, and when you dunk, scream at the air. Oh, it's a wrap.
Exactly.
Yo, block a shot. Ah! It's a man. What? Everybody's on your side. Block a shot and scream.
That's all you gotta do.
Dunk, scream. Scream after you make a play. Scream after you do anything good. Fans will be on your side. It's
that's all you gotta do. It's not rocket science for Knicks fans. It's really not.
You can have 0 points, get a dunk in the fourth quarter, scream. You all on your side. That's it. That's it. All right, yo. It's real simple. Next caller up, we got my man Mike from Michigan. What's good, Mike?
Gentlemen, salute.
What's going on, man?
It's another Knicks win. It's nice
man.
to be in the building, man. Thanks for taking the call.
For sure.
Okay, I'm going to jump right to it because I don't know how many of y'all got left. But, yeah. Salute to the last caller, man. He tried to listen. I'm listening to him get a speech whatever minutes you get, you better make your shots. You better play hard. Sound like he giving the Tibbs speech that Obi. He giving Tibbs or the Tibbs Obi speech to Randall, man.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
On the clock, Obi.
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, damn, yeah. Look like, yeah. That's how Tibbs be playing my man Obi.
Facts.
But yeah. So yeah, salute to him on that. Yeah, let's put that let's put those restrictions on Randall like that though. But I'm gonna get back to my man. I ain't gonna really stay with my man because that's low hanging fruit now. And yeah, neither here nor there. Now, what I've seen with IQ, as far as the IQ thing, with IQ being our combo guard or potential future point guard going forward, man, when he found Burks in the corner for that three, like clutch time tonight, I was like, my dude.
I screamed.
My dude, I appreciate it. Listen, I don't know about we got a lot of young talent, man. We talked about this before when I called in before. I think we just let it mesh and cook, man. We just gotta let it mesh and cook like as best we can. You know, as best we can for the most part. I'm impressed with IQ is the way he's developing, you know, with those minutes. My main point though, before the caller kind of got me going with the Tibbs thing, the front office, man. I want to talk about the front office because I know before the front office caught a little bit of heat, you know, when we was going through, you know, the worst stretch of the season, and everybody was like, well, where's Leon and where's the front office? Man, I want to salute the front office. I want to salute the front office because when you see the young guys playing and you see how we've been winning with the young guys getting more minutes, the front office did their job, man.
Yeah, man.
My take on that is the front office did their job.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so I don't know where you at with that.
I feel like no front office is perfect, right? They do some good, they'll do some bad. Where the front office did a masterful job at is they really just did a good job drafting.
Yeah.
They did a really good job drafting. And down from the Ninja P when he got Mitch, RJ, down to the new regime who got IQ, Grimes, Deuce, trading Knox for Cam Reddish. Like, we have a pool of young talent here that, like I said, it's the best pool of young talent that we've had since the Nate Robinson, Channing Frye,
David Lee and those dudes.
Era. So they've done really well there. Now, with the amount of young people we have, Tom Thibodeau as a coach might have been a risk. They might have miscalculated there. He's a really good, Tom Thibodeau is a really good base coach. He's going to do a good job teaching you fundamentals and giving them the base knowledge they'll need for the rest of their career. I'm not sure if he's going to be the right coach forever, though, to get us over the hump to a championship. But for now, he's a good base coach. And you know what? Free agency is the other part where they had some good and some bad with free agency. You know what I'm saying? And that's where you can criticize.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. So as far as the free agency goes, free agency is a crapshoot, man.
Yeah.
And unless you knock it out the park as far as getting the best guy on the market, you know, the superstar or whatever, which, you know, obviously we haven't got that, you know, pretty much ever.
Right.
You know what I mean, from as long as I've been alive as a Knicks fan. But as far as the credit goes, even now with the young guys playing, I feel like, hey. When I think Raw was talking about this on his channel, how he noticed Wes and Allen Houston, you know, down by the bench or whatever. I feel like it's not an accident that the young guys are getting more playing time, and I feel like ever since we had that point where I think Wes went to the owner and basically was like, this is on Tibbs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? From that point forward, you kind of saw a shift.
Yeah.
Kind of saw a shift. Now, injuries played a role in that too, but you still saw a shift. You know what I'm saying? And I think that shout out to Randall on the recent injury. Not that I'm not. Let me be careful how I say this. I don't celebrate injuries.
I know what you mean.
But shout out to Randall for, you know, sitting down for a minute. I don't know if that was a, you know, legit injury or if that was just, hey man, why don't you just sit down and get your mind right for a minute? You know what I mean? Considering what's been happening recently with him. So I want to credit the front office for that. You know,
Absolutely.
I'm just gonna I'm giving all the front office to the front office.
The front office made some good moves. Burks, I still like Burks. Like, Burks is a good player. I know he gets a lot of heat on Knicks Nation, but I think that's just because of how Tibbs is using him. You know what I mean? But Burks has been a good player. And look, Burks has scored 28 points today. He had game-winning shot today and yesterday. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Evan Fournier.
But see, Burks is playing. He's playing. Sorry, go ahead.
Evan Fournier a little overpaid, but you know, he can say he's a little overpaid, or he can say he's paying through his contract. That's debatable. And if that's debatable, I mean, decent job getting Evan Fournier here. Kemba Walker, maybe not the best. No, we swung, we missed. We swung, we missed on Kemba Walker. Mm-hmm. We swung, we missed on Kemba Walker. We swung and we missed on Nerlens Noel.
Yeah.
I guess the mistakes that we made, I guess, aren't gut-wrenching mistakes. They're like, damn, they might set us back for maybe a year.
Well, I'll say this. I don't think Nerlens Noel was a swing and a miss, because he did have one good season for us. It's just the fact that this last season he's just been injured and he hasn't really played all season, so it looks like a miss. But I wouldn't really say that's a miss per se. It's because he's been injured all season.
Yeah, you know what it is with Noel? He's been injury-prone his entire career. So, I mean, it's one of those things where I get why they did it, because they want to reward him for his good play and, you know, reward the team for playing well. But it's one of those things like, man, that one year he was healthy, we gave him the money, and then he was back to being his regular injured self again. It's like, oh, of course it happened. But
yeah.
Yeah. So I would say out of all those signings that you mentioned, I would say probably Noel is probably the only relative miss, I would say, and that's just because of the injury.
Right.
You know, his lack of being able to stay healthy this year. You know, other than that, I wouldn't even call that a bad signing based on, like you said, what he gave us last year. And we kind of transitioning from that whole LOL Knicks perception that we couldn't do nothing right. Look what they're doing this offseason. Ha ha ha. You know what I'm saying? So where we reward once we start rewarding guys that helped us on that playoff run, I think they was like, from perception standpoint, we was making the right moves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And from a cohesion standpoint, you know, trying to build cohesion and kind of build, you know, the roster, you know, familiarity going forward. That's something we didn't have under, you know, Thibodeau and you know, the years from the time Woody left through, you know, Thibodeau, the roster just kept kind of
switching.
And flipping.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nah, good points.
And so, yeah, so I respect them for that. You know, they kind of did. It was the best that they had to work with as far as the options. You know, last off season, I think they did the best. They made the best of the off season, considering what was available and what we had going on last year. As far as, you know, Tibbs had he kind of, you know, had a year that we didn't expect as far as the wins to get us to the playoffs, and that brings me to the Tibbs point that I want to touch on. I feel like they gave him, like, right now on this roster, if you look at it the way it's constructed, the man has everything he needs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he has everything he needs to effectively play, you know, a defensive first brand of ball, if that's what he's still into. You know what I mean? It's questionable if that's what he's still into sometimes with the Randall thing. But, you know, and I think, and as far as the young players, that I want to get to Obi, too, before I, you know, get off, and I'm trying to hurry this up a little bit more. But, like, yeah, my man Obi is looking nice now, right? And I think that comes from not only just the playing time. Yeah, these all go together. Like you said, the playing time, and builds your confidence. You know what I'm saying? Once you get that consistency, as far as your playing time, and like, you know, okay, I'm gonna get this time based on, you know, whatever.
Right.
I feel free to take more shots. I can take this 3-pointer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That, you know, I can take this 3-pointer that I might have passed off just in case, because I don't have to worry about missing and getting yanked right away. You know what I mean? Yeah. If I got consistency as far as that. And I want to touch on Tibbs on that, because, and this goes back to the Kemba situation.
Right, last point. When him and Kemba the next person after this too. I'm sorry. We got mad calls today.
Yeah, absolutely, no problem. All right, so last thing, as far as playing time, confidence, consistency, all going together. When Tibbs and Kemba had a beef, I think Kemba had said at one point the man didn't even talk to him. You know what I'm saying? His biggest thing was like, I don't know what he expects. The man didn't talk to him. And I feel like that's how Tibbs plays the players that he's not in favor with. Like, I don't think he was really giving Obi, you know what I'm saying, that dialogue as far as what Obi needed to do to get that consistency at playing time. So this offseason, I think they need to address that with Tibbs, man. Mm-hmm. And let them know what it's going to be going forward. Appreciate y'all taking the call, man. Salute, and I'm going to listen from here, man.
All right. Shout out to my guy, Mike. Yeah, yo, some good points, a lot of good points, decent conversation there on the front office. Stay where the Knicks are and our young guys, all good points. Yo, it's interesting to me too, thinking about the point guard position, Ryan. We have Quickly here, who is he's flashing some nice point guard play, making big plays at the end games. If RJ here, who's also starting to find a rhythm, making plays at the end of games. And we have McBride here, who's getting some spot minutes in some places, but he hasn't really gotten a chance to play point guard, right?
Yeah.
I did like the McBride. McBride actually made a move today that was similar to what he did in Summer League, and I was like, in Summer League, and in the G League, which he's got to his spots. He ran the pick and roll. He didn't look to pass and got to his foul line spot and pulled up for a jumper. So I was happy about that.
Yeah.
But my thing is, we forget that Derrick Rose is still on the team.
It's funny because you read my mind, because I was just about to bring it up too about the point guard situation and Derrick Rose still being here.
Yeah. We forget that Derrick Rose is still on the team. So I know we're talking about trading for, Malcolm, but trading for Malcolm puts us back in a position where McBride's not getting any minutes. Yeah. Grimes' minutes are a little bit shaky, because we got to remember that even the fact that Grimes is getting minutes is because Derrick Rose is injured. Grimes wasn't getting minutes until Derrick Rose went down. Well, I think people forgot that.
Yeah.
So going into next season, I'm hoping the front office, seeing what these young guys are doing right now, is giving him a little bit of clarity and giving him a little bit more confidence to start to move some of these veterans. Yeah. And the other part is for us to really work, man, we have to have. Alec Burks needs to be a wing again, man. He needs to be a wing again. He needs to be a wing again. If we're gonna have a prayer at getting McBride and D Rose and IQ point guard minutes, we're gonna have to move Alec Burks to back to a wing.
No, the thing is, I think Alec Burks would always I think if Derrick Rose was healthy, I don't think Burks would have played any point guard. I think Burks would have always been a wing. I think it's the fact that Derrick Rose got hurt and Thibs never really fully trusted in IQ or McBride to really run the point. I think that's why he made Burks the point guard. But I think if Rose was healthy, I think Burks would have just stayed as the wing.
I think you're right, too. Nick Yak says point guards make plays for others quickly can't due to the except for the lobs. Did you see the 3 or 4 passes he made to the corner to Obi Toppin that weren't lobs? And did you see the game-winning 3 made by IQ off his penetration to Alec Burks? I guess y'all you missed that. He obviously made plays for other people. I don't get. He makes. IQ not making plays for people. That point is dead. That point is dead. I'm sorry. That point is dead. He's starting to do it every game now. You can say he shoots too much. I can get, hey, he shoots too much. He shoots the 3 too much sometimes. When he looks to pass, but he can't make plays. He can definitely make plays.
I mean, look, I understand. IQ's not a true point guard. I get it. But just to make up stuff just to prove the point that he's not a true point guard is BS to me. Because if you watch the man play, he does make point guard type plays, whether he's a true point guard or not. So it's to say that he only makes plays when he's throwing up a lob, that just tells me you don't watch the game, honestly.
Yeah. How about bounce past the miss? Yeah, okay, the bounce pass. Yeah, I mean the bounce past the Mitch. Listen, and Deuce made some nice plays too. Both of them can make nice plays. That's all I have to say. Next caller up. Who do we have next? I forgot who we have next. But next caller up. Let us know what your name is, where you from, and what do you want to talk about.
Oh, okay. Caller, are you there? Or
no more callers. Oh, Mike was our last caller. Okay. Whew. All right, I thought we had another caller. Maybe he dropped us. That's fine. We had a lot of calls. I think this is the most calls we've had after a game. So shout out to
Yeah.
all the people calling who getting comfortable talking to us on the KOT show. Great win as usual. Yo, when's the next game, Ryan?
I believe it's Wednesday.
Next game up is it Wednesday? I think it's Thursday.
Wait, let me make sure.
I think it's Thursday. Yeah.
I think it is Thursday because I think the Knicks get a couple games off due to. No, it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday?
Yeah, it's Wednesday. Yeah, Hornets and Knicks. Yeah, Wednesday.
Okay, Hornets and Knicks.
Yeah. After the game Wednesday, then it's Saturday, Sunday. I knew they had like a 2-day stretch where they didn't play. Yeah, after Wednesday.
Got you. So Wednesday in Charlotte, that's another big one. That's a guy who's a team that's directly in front of us, and they just beat up on the Nets, and they're probably gonna be pissed that we just beat them. So I expect their best punch Wednesday for sure. I expect their best punch of it. So next game, we're gonna be here after every game. Next game we'll be here on Wednesday talking Knicks versus Charlotte. So definitely join us here to talk Knicks versus Charlotte. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to AZ Cards, Picks for Timmy, Be Civilized.
That's a Suns fan. He need to get out of here.
Huh?
That's
a Suns fan.
He need to get out of here, yo.
Oh my God. Wow.
Oh
right,
man.
I mean, there's no
I can't argue that.
Sun channel, so it is what it is. Welcome, I guess. But next game up is on Charlotte, and we're gonna see you then. All right. So, thank you guys for calling in. Please remember to subscribe to the channel if you like it, and leave a comment as well. I read every single comment that you guys write. So you write in a comment on YouTube, I'm reading it. I'm commenting too. All right. So hit us in the comments. I definitely want to see what you guys have to say. All right. Cool. Ryan G. Let them know where they can find you, sir.
You can find me on Instagram at Sir G is chilling.
Sir G is chilling.
That's SIRG is CHILLIN. You can also find me on Sir G's Corner where I talk sports and Knicks. I'm on a bit of a hiatus right now because I'm busy, but I'm gonna get back to it real soon. It's gonna be within the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
And you can also find me on Twitter at RyanGKOT.
All right. I heard Ryan G's about to hit the pen again. I don't know if that was a rumor or not. I heard you about to hit the pen again and contribute to the Nick of Time blog. I don't know.
Yeah, that's coming too.
All right. Shout out to my guy Ryan G. All right. I already know you can find us. So first you get the snapback. Shout out to my guy Nuggy Fresh in the building who had he went to the basketball game, so he got to see the Knicks put a whooping on Chicago live, rocking the blue and orange KOT snapback. So shout out to my guy. You can get it at the nickoftimeshow.com. You can listen to us on all podcast form. That's SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. So you definitely do that as well. And follow us on all social media, guys. You can follow us on the Nick of Time Show on Twitter, the Nick of Time Show on Instagram, and the Nick of Time Show on Facebook. And interact with us there. All right, guys. Great show, Ryan. Thank you, for calling. Y'all came with the facts today. So, thanks for calling in, man. And guess what, guys? You already know what it is. As always.
Shout out the Worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
It's a mess out here in these New York Knicks YouTube streets, all right? That is our show. We out of here.
Peace.